Hello everyone. Last night, Trump announced the series of tariff on several countries for their imports into US. Hence, in this video, first let's look about it and then we'll discuss our regular pre-market report for today, 8th July 2025 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. As we discussed multiple times in the last week, Trump and US government have this deadline July 9th, which is tomorrow. And within this time, US asked all the other countries to make a trade deal. But so far till date, only 3 countries such as UK, China and Vietnam had some kind of trade deal agreement with US. All other countries including India, European Union and Japan all are trying but they are not reaching an agreement. Hence, in order to scare everyone and make them to reach an agreement, last night Trump announced the tariff on 14 countries. If required, please pause and have a look. These are the 14 countries and just to name a few, Japan and South Korea export to US will attract 25% tariff. South Africa 30%, Malaysia 25%, Myanmar 40%, Indonesia 32%, Bangladesh 35% and finally Cambodia and Thailand 36%. Basically, he covered most of the East Asian countries which China potentially use as a proxy or for the transshipment. Last night he first announced about this on his Truth social media post. Then he released the official statement. And in all those letters, he added the additional threat. For example, this is the letter sent to Bangladesh. If you see in this, by chance as a retaliation, if Bangladesh decided to raise the tariff against US means, then US will retaliate further like 35% plus whatever the Bangladesh retaliation tariff means. This threat was sent to each one of the 14 countries and warning them not to retaliate. Anyway, from India perspective, last night US Trade Secretary Scott Bessent said that they are going to announce the number of trade deal agreement by tomorrow end. Hence, we could expect some form of India-US trade deal announcement. Anyway, back to US market. Because of this Trump stunt, last night all 3 major index in US market closed on the negative note. Dow Jones decreased 0.94%, S&P 500 was down by 0.79%, whereas Nasdaq decreased 0.92%. In case of US VIX, it increased to 2% and moved closer to 18. However, for some reason, that US market negativity didn't transfer to GIFT Nifty. Early morning today, GIFT Nifty traded at 25,475. At present, the premium to spot Nifty is around 70 to 80 points. Hence, equating that for now, it's indicating the gap down opening of 50 to 60 points. Regarding Indian ADR, all the 4 major stocks closed negative between 0.5 to 1.5%. Only Reliance GDR closed positive, that too before the Trump stunt. So, if you calculate the arbitrage, IT stocks indicating further more negative like 0.5%, whereas both banks and Reliance GDR having some positive stance. Now coming to Indian market, I like to highlight one thing. If required, please pause and have a look. This is the yesterday's Nifty's price action. And if you see, as it is, the price action seems very volatile. But that's not the truth. The difference between the day's low and day's high was only just 72 points and in percentage term it was less than 0.3%. So it was super flat and you might wonder why it was super flat. The answer could be 2 reasons. One, it's obvious Trump's tomorrow trade deal deadline, July 9th related nervousness. Then the second one, last Thursday, SEBI banned world's largest trading firm, Jane Street, from trading in the Indian stock market. In both stocks and derivative. SEBI said they found convincing evidence about how Jane Street was manipulating the Nifty and so SEBI temporarily suspended Jane Street from trading. I already made a video about who is Jane Street and what was SEBI probing about them and all a month ago itself. Hence, it's not new, but because Jane Street is not trading for next couple of weeks, we could say this will reduce the volatility in the Indian market. Just for info, in any given day, Jane Street controls crazy amount of daily trade volume like 15 to up to 50%. So as I said, no Jane Street might result in less daily trade volume and less volatility. Then about institution, in the cash market, because of this Jane Street ban, in the last two trading sessions, it seems FII trade value dropped by 40%. Either way, after 5 consecutive days of net selling, yesterday FII turned as net buyers. They net bought for 320 crore rupees and DIA net bought for little above 1850 crore rupees. Then coming to derivative market, in the index options, out of 48% call options unwound on the weekly expiry, 28% new call options were added on last Friday, and in addition 7% new call options were added yesterday. Similarly, on the put side, last Friday 23% new open interest were added out of 36% unwound, and yesterday 8% new put option open interest were added. Hence, considering no Jane Street, we could say option open interest is fairly developed. Then position wise, proprietary traders from net 1.6% open interest on the bullish side, they turned neutral. At present, they are having net 0.9% open interest on the bearish side. Then in case of retail traders from net 2.2% open interest on the bullish side, they increased it to net 4.5% of their open interest on the bullish side. Only FII maintaining their negative stance, net 3% of their open interest on the bearish side. Then in the index future market, proprietary traders and retail traders holding their 50% and 56% long position respectively, and similarly FII holding 72% of their open interest on the short side. Overall, proprietary traders having the strong neutral stance, then retail traders inclining market to go up, whereas FII makes more money if market goes down. As a summary, US market closed negative, and we could expect the global market might have strong nervousness related to trade deal deadline influence. However, from India perspective, during weekend, CNBC website mentioned that India-US trade deal might announce by today end kind of. So, any announcement related to trade deal could influence our market today. And in addition, by chance, if Jane Street closes their existing position means, then again that could also influence the market. However, for now, all the metric indicating gap down opening, and it could change as time progresses. Then, as per stock open interest, Blue Star, KFin Tech, MCX, Jubilant Foods, Havels, BEL and Bank of India are some of the 85 stocks that got an increase in open interest along with a negative close, indicates the short build-up. On the other hand, it's IIFL, Page Industries, L&T Mindtree, Glenmark, Adani Energy and LTF are some of the 40 stocks that got an increase in open interest with a positive price close, which means these stocks got the long build-up. Regarding the things to look out, during our market hours, there is nothing that I'm aware of that can influence our market. And in the night for US, New York Fed 1-year consumer inflation expectation, EIA short-term energy outlook and 3-year note auction are some of the important items we need to keep an eye out today. Coming to technical, as we discussed earlier, Nifty opened flat and closed flat. Thus on the daily chart, it formed a doji pattern signaling indecisiveness between buyers and sellers. Hence, as long as Nifty stays above the key support level 25,300, we could expect the sentiment to be positive. And the breakout above the immediate resistance at 25,500 could potentially increase the Nifty towards the next resistance point 25,700. Then in case of Bank Nifty, it also had the similar price action as Nifty. Hence on the daily chart, it also formed the doji pattern. Here, the key support is at 56,000 to 55,500 zone, which aligns with 50 exponential moving average and 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of the recent rally. And the immediate resistance is at 57,500 mark. As per the weekly options data, the maximum call option open interest was at 26,000 strike, followed by 25,500 and 25,600, with maximum new call option writing at 25,600 strike and then 26,000 and 25,500. On the put side, the maximum open interest was at 25,000 strike, followed by 25,300 and 25,400, with maximum new put option writing at 25,300 strike and then 25,400 and 24,800. Thus, from options data, Nifty might trade in the broader range of 25,000 to 26,000 with with a resistance at 25,500 to 25,600 level and support at 25,300 to 25,200 zone. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some useful information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.